right, guys, we're super excited for this episode.
Yes, I am.
Made all the things.
All the things.
Right?
Shrimp, catfish, mac and cheese 5 ways, pound cake 2 ways, pecans and all.
Pecans and all. We're gonna show you everything from the fish fry itself, the batter. We're gonna talk about my Cajun mix.
Oh my God.
Which is so bomb, and a quick and easy way to dress up any box cake. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
This is the Corona, the Corona quarantine series.
Yeah, this is don't struggle while you're in quarantine, okay? Go to the grocery store. If they're not panicking and they got some good fresh ingredients, or if they got some of this stuff, hook it up. And we got the recipe.
Look how delicious this is.
This mac and cheese. Come on, bro. You can make this. This is during the coronavirus.
It was so easy.
This is during. Yes, we got it popping. Come on.
Come on, friends.
Shrimp.
Come through.
Come through. Word to Ash and Lex.
Word to us. All right, we love you guys. I'm ready to dig in. We're gonna get started on eating. You guys stay tuned for how to make all this deliciousness.
Yes, sir. Peace.
What's up, guys? I'm super excited. So we're gonna get into the fish. I'm proud because, like a proud little mom, I made my own fish fry, and it's super easy. If you don't have the patience, the time, you don't want to mix a few dry ingredients together, you can just buy the bag of fish fry. I really like the Louisiana brand. You can grab those. Those are usually like $2. That'll work too. But this is, and all the information will be in the description of this episode, but this fish fry mix is cornstarch, cornmeal, flour, and my Cajun seasoning mix, which I'm gonna walk you guys through right now with a little bit of salt. Super easy, and it's like half a cup to 1.5 cups. But the more fish you make, the more you can just throw in there and kind of play it by ear. Depending on how crispy or crunchy, you add more cornmeal, or more light and fluffy, you add a little more flour or corn, the other one.
Cornstarch.
Cornstarch. You add cornstarch. Shout out to my MVP back there.
Okay, so let's talk about seasoning your catfish and your shrimp. It's super easy. This was 2 fillets of catfish that we cut into nuggets, and about a pound and a half of shrimp. So what we're gonna do is first just squeeze some lemon juice. This was already sitting in a little bit of lemon juice just to clean off any bacteria and just to clean everything. It has been prepped, so the shrimp are deveined and of course peeled. I took the shells off completely, no tails. Then we're gonna go in with our hot sauce. I like to use hot sauce over using egg washes normally, but you can do both. I'm actually gonna do a combo here. I have 2 types of hot sauce that I'm using. Red Rooster, which I have about a tablespoon left. So I'm just gonna pour that all over. And then I'm going to also use the crystals. So anybody from Louisiana or from down south knows about that crystals. It is bomb. So I'm gonna go ahead and use probably another tablespoon here. We like it spicy. This is completely up to you. If you're not prone to hot sauce or spice, you can just simply do the egg wash. This is about 1 egg that I've beat together or whisked. I'm actually gonna use, because I use the hot sauce also, I'm gonna use about half this egg. If you weren't using the hot sauce, you'd use the whole egg in its entirety. I'm just gonna mix this together so everything's nice and combined. All the pieces of seafood are fully coated with that wet mix, so that hot sauce and that egg. So once all that's combined, we're gonna go in with our seasoning. This is super simple, and I have some red pepper or cayenne, smoked paprika, thyme and oregano, garlic 2 ways because I am that person. I have powdered and minced, and then I also have onion powder and a little bit of pepper in here. That is our base Cajun mix, which is going to go on the shrimp, and it's also going to go on the fry batter. So I have about probably 3 tablespoons in the fry batter itself, because that's mostly flour. We're gonna need a little bit of flavor in there. You can add more. The more you add, the darker the color. And then I'm gonna add about 2 to 3 tablespoons on my fish or my seafood. This is again about 2 pounds of seafood, so you want to just make sure this is fully coated. Every single piece should have this beautiful red color that you see right now. So once this is all mixed up, actually let's add a little bit more, because there's nothing wrong with extra flavor. So I'm gonna add a little bit more here. So this probably ended up being about 3 teaspoons. We're gonna coat this completely, and then we will get it started on throwing it in the batter or the fry so we can pop it in the oil. Let's drop these nuggets in, and all we're gonna do is gonna make sure they're fully coated. So this is about 5 pieces of my catfish. I'm gonna start with the catfish because shrimp cook so quick. I don't want those to be super cold. So I'm just gonna make sure that the surface of the fish is completely coated. I have a tip for you guys that I did not follow when we were filming. Put your batter or your fry in a plastic Ziploc bag. It'll make your life so much easier, because then you can just drop your fish in, shake it up, pull it out with your tongs, and put it straight in the oil. Here, you have to really try not to make a mess, which is hard. So with the Ziploc bags, you can just throw that away. Okay, let's get this last little piece coated and just covered. Again, you want the entire surface covered. Pack it on, shake it off, pack it on again. Just make sure every piece of that fish is coated. One of my tips here, if you like more crispy kind of crust on your fish, add a little bit more cornmeal. That'll give you that texture you're looking for. But now that this is all coated, let's go ahead and take it over to the oil, and I'll show you how I fry these bad boys up. Okay, let's drop this first tester in. Okay, so you can see how some of my batter spread, or my fry spread. My oil wasn't hot enough. I'm doing this old school. I don't have a thermometer, so it's a test. It wasn't as hot as I like it, so I just turned it up a little bit, waited a little second longer for the oil to completely heat up. It was almost there. As you can see, before I drop it in, I just shake off as much excess batter as possible. You don't want that to settle at the bottom of your pan and just burn the whole time you're cooking your fish, because then your fish will taste burnt. So I'm just dropping this in. It's about 5 pieces that I'm going to put in. I do not want to overcrowd my pan. The more things I put into my oil, the lower the temperature is going to be. Another tip when you're frying, make sure you're not frying things that are cold, like straight out of the fridge. You want to make sure that they're like room temperature. So before I even started seasoning my fish, I pulled it out of the fridge and let it just sit on the countertop so it can get to room temp. And that's just going to help the fry, because then you're not frying something where the inside is cold, so your outside is cooking quicker than your inside. So make sure all of your meat, whether you're frying chicken, fish, whatever it is room temp. So I have all of my pieces in here. I'm gonna let those sit. Typically, I do about 4 minutes on one side, and then I go in and I flip to the other side. You want to make sure that your fish ends up with a really nice golden brown kind of a look, and that's how you know you're almost done. Fish cooks very quickly, so we don't need a lot of time here. I like to make sure it's pretty much all the way cooked, so you can see my fry batter went from white to golden brown pretty much everywhere. That's when I flip. And with shrimp, it's the same thing. Shrimp cook even quicker, so all you need is about 3 to 5 minutes depending on how hot your oil is. As you can see, when I put the shrimp in the oil, they start to curl up and they're a tighter circle. The smaller your shrimp get, or the tighter that circle gets, they are overcooked. It takes 3 to 5 minutes. It does not take long at all. So you only need to drop them in, wait about 2 minutes, and then flip and then cook for another minute to 2 minutes, and they're gonna be done. You do not need to fry your shrimp for longer than 5 minutes max. They're also going to keep cooking when you pull them out for a little bit, so that's okay. I want to also, in just a quick moment, talk about the importance of a fry rack. So as you can see, I'm just pulling these out really quickly, or flipping these over rather, really quickly, and then by the time I finish flipping all of the shrimp in this pan, they're going to be ready to be pulled out. Shrimp, again, take no time. So let's talk about that fry rack. You can get a fry rack anywhere, even the 99-cent store. You want to just grab one, and this is so important when you're frying food because it allows your oil to drip off. As you can see, I have some paper towels down here. That's just going to catch the oil. It's going to keep my fish crispy, my shrimp crispy. Then I'm going to go in and I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of lemon because it's so bomb. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of sea salt. And let's talk about the importance of salt. We want to stop using iodized salt. You want to make sure you're using either kosher or sea salt, pink Himalayan. It's not salty, but it's a really large flake. So my little tip to you guys. Let me pass it over to Ray so he can show y'all some mac and cheese.
What up? So today we're making mac and cheese. You're gonna need a few ingredients here, and I'm gonna just walk you through it real fast. All right, guys, so I have some almond milk here. I have 5 different cheeses here. So we're gonna start with our habanero jack cheese. I've got some smoked Gouda here. I've got some staple cheeses like our sharp cheddar cheese. I've got a buttercross. I've got a Gruyere and a white cheddar cheese as well here, which is going to be a staple for our sauce to help it get that gooey texture. I've got some garlic. I've got some onion powder, some garlic powder, some nutmeg, paprika, and some black pepper, which is a staple, and a egg wash, which is going to help our sauce come alive and together with our bake. So here we have about a 1/4 cup of almond milk, which is going to help us kick off our sauce. I'm going to have about a medium temperature heat. I'm going to add my cheeses in. So now I've got my sharp cheddar, my white cheddar, I've got my Gruyere, all of my habanero jack cheese, my smoked Gouda. I'm just going to throw all that in and get the mix in. And we're going to keep this on a low to medium flame, whatever your speed can handle, but I would keep it on a medium to low flame, and just keep stirring, stirring. And then after we get a nice little mix here, then we're going to add in our seasonings. So I'm going to start with my onion powder. I'm going to start with my garlic. Then I'm going to add in some black pepper as well as some of my paprika. And I'm just going to mix all that in. And then we're also going to toss in maybe just a little bit more cheese, just depending on the consistency and how gooey our cheese is looking. But right now that's looking pretty damn good right there. I'm probably just going to add a little bit more in. That looks fantastic. Look at that cheese. Coming up. Yes. So I'm just going to add a little bit more cheese to this mix, just so we get a better texture out of our cheese. And I'm going to mix that in. And then from here, we're going to add a little bit of our egg. So we're going to take that egg wash and just mix it in just a little bit. And make sure you take it off the heat so it doesn't cook. We just want to get it in there just to help with the bake as far as the noodles are concerned. And then I'm just gonna take my noodles, I'm gonna strain them. You don't want to rinse your noodles. You just want to get them dry enough to put them into the cheese. Here's my garlic. I'm just gonna take my garlic, and that's gonna be the last thing I add. You don't want to burn your garlic. Normally, I just add it in with my noodles and boil it, and just crush it right into my sauce, like you see me doing here. And I just mix it all in. If you want, you can chop it. However you feel, you can do it. Whatever floats your. And then I'm just gonna add my noodles directly into this. This is my cheese sauce. It's pretty much done. And I'm gonna add my noodles right on in here. Ooh, look at that. I'm gonna let you just listen on in to what this sounds like. Ready? Here it goes. Oh, see that gooiness? This is all natural cheese too. This is almond milk. Alright. You don't gotta get whole milk if you're not a fan of whole milk. That doesn't do you right like it doesn't do me right most of the time. You know, this is a lot of cheese, so whatever corner you can cut with the lactose, try. If you can cut out the Velveeta, try.
Ooh, please don't. No more Velveeta in y'all's mac.
I mean, Mama's Velveeta.
No.
You know that. I mean, hey, look, it's
Sorry,
good.
Sister Johnson.
But I actually said it. But look, it's not the healthiest. So, and this ain't the healthiest anyway. But you know, you want to cut some corners when it comes to things like that. But look at that.
Someone said, "Are you able to deliver to us?"
Absolutely not.
You ain't heard it's a virus out here?
But I'm just giving you my recipe so you can make this for yourself. Because I'm not gonna.
Ralph's is still open.
Yeah, there's no way I would stand in line. Okay, so hopefully you're entertained by our live taping. But now we're gonna get to layering. So here, I'm just gonna add my first layer to an 8x11 glass pan. You can use whatever you have, but I typically use a glass pan just so it doesn't stick, and it usually can hold about a pound to a pound and a half, so that's just perfect for me. Also, I didn't talk about this earlier, but I wanted to talk about some of the cheeses that I got from this grocery store, like the smoked Gouda and the habanero jack. Check in with your local cheese bar and ask the cheese attendant what's a good cheese for your mac. In this case, the cheese attendant recommended a habanero jack, and that's why I actually added habanero jack to my mac and cheese. Smoked Gouda has always been kind of a staple in the recipe that I typically go with, just because that's a family favorite. But yeah, so check in with your local cheese bar and get some of those tips from your local cheese attendant. If they have one. If they don't, then you can go with what I have here, or what you like. But this is this recipe, so tap in. But yeah, here's the second layer, and we're just going to do the same thing. Layer our cheese on top, season it, and you're gonna go kind of heavy for the lid, just so when people pop into that mac and cheese, they get that gooey feeling, and they really feel like your mac and cheese is about to deliver that experience that everyone's looking for in a baked macaroni and cheese. It's gonna give it that rich feeling. I'm just gonna top this off with this habanero jack and Gouda and some seasoning, and I'm just gonna bake this for about 20 to 30 minutes until golden brown, and we'll be back. So check this out. All right, look at that. Oh, look at that sizzle, baby. A little sizzling going on in there. Oh yeah. All done, guys. Just gonna let this sit and cool off for a little bit and get to eating.
Hi guys, welcome to Getting Baked with Ashley, my favorite. So I am making pound cake. I'm super excited. This was really easy. This was something that I just had in my pantry. Most of us have some sort of cake in the pantry. I didn't want to waste my time showing you how to make boxed cake, so I just Put them in a greased container right here, ready to go. These are 8x4 loaf pans for pound cakes or breads. So I buttered that, put that in there. What I am gonna show you is how to step this up a little bit. So just bring it to another little level, hook it up as my mama would say. I have some pecans, I don't know, however you say it. That's what I got here. I have some brown sugar, some regular sugar, and this also has cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg. So,
pound cake 2 ways. Let's get it. So this is super simple. Like I said, a box cake. With this one, as you can see, I did butter the pan, and I also put a little bit of sugar on the bottom of the pan before I poured the cake mix in. Now I'm just gonna take that cinnamon sugar mix and drop it on the top of this cake batter, and I'm gonna press it in nice and gently, not too much, to the surface of the cake. I don't really want it to touch the cake pan because then it'll burn. So just get it stuck to the actual cake mix. And that's it. We hooked it up. It was so simple. It's almost like a coffee cake, pound cake. And then the other one, we're gonna bake it plain, and I'm gonna show you how to just step it up and basically trick someone into believing you made it from scratch. Super simple. The last thing I'm gonna do with that coffee cake, pound cake, I'm gonna throw a little pecans on top. So these are very roughly chopped. I'm just gonna place these on top. It's gonna add a little bit of texture, of course a little bit of nuttiness, but because it's such a smooth taste, it's gonna be great, especially in the morning with like some coffee or late night. I'm just gonna gently press those in also. Again, same thing, you don't want them to touch the tin of the tin because it's going to burn. So just go ahead and put them directly on the cake mix. Then once they come out, you're gonna bake them for 33 minutes. And then once they come out, super simple, we're gonna slather that baby in butter. So what is a pound cake without butter? The name pound cake comes because back in the day, before we were somewhat healthy, it used to be a pound of butter in your pound cake. So do not be generous. This is not something that's healthy. You should not be eating this a lot. And if your trainer or my trainer is watching, just completely ignore this, okay? I'm just going to put lots of butter. I'm gonna pack it in because that butter is going to soak into the top of the cake, and it's going to give it that butteriness that only a pound cake has.
Oh, let's go. We eating now.
We getting it popping.
Ooh, look at that mac. Oh, God.
I cannot wait to taste this mac and cheese.
Lord, Jesus.
If y'all could smell this right now.
You guys hear that?
ASMR.
All the way through, guys. All the way through.
Run through the tape.
Do you understand? All right. Taste it.
Let me taste this bad
Come
boy.
on, T.
Let me taste it.
Tell me
Let
what
me
you think.
taste
Tell me
it.
what you think. She danced. She danced it here, dude.
Let's just do another one. Let's just do another one.
Why not?
Hey.
As soon as you touch the taste buds, so let's cut into this cake real quick. Hold on. I'm behind the camera now, guys. You see what's going on. Ooh. Oh my God.
Yo, this is fire. Back to the car.
Yo, this is so light. Oh my God.
You're gonna cut it all, huh?
Jesus. Oh just had to see how intense it is. Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Look at that. Jesus. Alright guys, we out of here, man. We didn't let you see how it's going down. We didn't got all up in the neck. We didn't got all up in the fish. It's time to eat, dog. So that's a wrap. We done made catfish, shrimp, 2 pound cakes. Pound cakes 2 ways. Made mac and cheese with 5 different cheeses. Guys, we love you. And you have the whole recipe down below. If you like what we did, like, subscribe, follow, all that. Share if you care. Word to Drake.
Word to the homie Drizzy Drake.
Yeah, so yeah, that's about it. We gotta eat. Yeah, if you wanna watch us eat, feel free, but we out of here. Peace.
Bye, friends.
Peace.